How long have you been doing this?
I was born into it. Didn't have much of a choice, so I tried to get out of it once, and now I'm back doing it again. My grandpa started crushing rock, and the family's been doing it for years.
Here in this area?
Yeah, Bellevue and Hagerman, down around Twin Falls.
And how many pieces of equipment do you have out here?
Right now we got, the whole crushing spread's only 3 pieces. We got 2 loaders and an excavator feeding it, sorting rock.
Here's our 3-inch, it's called 3-inch minus, it's angular rock, and that is going to be for the first 12 to 14 inches of our substrate above our what's called subgrade. That's where we're cut down to right now. And how many yards have you rendered on, with this 3-inch material, how many yards have you rendered?
This pile here is about 4,000 yards. We're gonna make 4,500 yards of 3/4.
The product that they're rendering right now is the 3/4 inch material. And so on top of the 12 to 14 inches of that structural base, this 3-inch material, we'll need 6 inches of the 3/4 inch material before we can grade that and place asphalt. This pile of dirt that's behind me, as it runs through his equipment, it separates the rock from the dirt. So this leaves us with a lot of fill material that is good for instance, we've got to build up a retention basin. We've got a large retention basin about where that loader is, and we can use all of this material to create our retention basin, and we can also use it as topsoil for our planters. So this has really been a good situation for us because we've been able to repurpose a lot of material that we've excavated on site rather than sending it away and exporting it to be disposed of. We're able to use it here. And then those larger boulders out back, are we going to crush those down further, or are we going to use those for other purposes?
Maybe use them for bumpers around the parking lot, Adam thought, or we can break them up with a hammer before I get out here and crush them.
Just to give you some idea of why we need all of that rock, these are the island locations, and this is actually, this metal lip right here is actually top of curb. So finished asphalt height, if you can see my hand, is 6 inches below, or our concrete pad that meets the asphalt is 6 inches below that height. So you can see around how much material still needs to be brought in to bring everything up to grade, and that's where that structural material that Sluder Construction is rendering for us is going to be used. And I'm here on the south side of the building, the southeast side, and right where we're walking, about 80 feet south of the building, is where we're going to place or build. It'll be a 48 by 100 warehouse. The east side of it will be flush with the end of this building, with our main retail building, and that'll be the east side. And about the eastern third of it, that's where we will house 6 10,000 gallon fire suppression water tanks. And then the western half of the building will be for overflow and inventory from our retail office. And again, it'll go about 100 feet that direction, and we'll go ahead and make our way toward the building. The foundation has been placed for our loading dock, and then the loading dock will extend about another 60 or 70 feet this way to the east. And as we come around this direction on the east side of the building, that foundation that doesn't have anything built on top of it right now, that is actually our drive-through, and we still have to frame the walls and the roof system over that drive-through. And actually on that small section of wall, concrete wall, the stem wall facing south, we're actually going to cut a door in there so that our restaurant operators can use that for a service entry. How long have you been an electrician?
I've been in the industry for approximately 8 years, in construction for closer to 15.
15 years?
Yep.
And how long have you been with Magic Valley?
This is going on 5.5 years.
What are you working on today?
This week I've been working pretty close with Mike Tierney over at Leonard Petroleum. We mapped out all the site conduit for the gas pumps and all the dispensers, fuel tanks, and pretty much everything going external. And then also I mapped the stuff on the inside of the building as well. just to make sure nothing was missed before we come in here full bore next week and start digging.
And then I see you've got some conduit stacked up in there, so groundwork is going to start inside the building next week?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we'll get everything stubbed out and ready for the gas canopies mainly next week. That's our focus. As far as exterior goes, you know, as soon as the weather gets really nice, we're gonna have a crew out here just chugging along.
This is our vestibule, and we've looked at this before, but we're still waiting on a final design. And as you can see here, there's an inset, and we're actually going to move this stem wall that used to be the exterior or north wall behind our point of sale, and we're going to move it out to this exterior wall of the vestibule, and this plumbing cleanout will also move as well. And that was one of the outcomes of our last meeting. We decided that it would be better that that whole point of sale and the counter would come back, and that allows a lot more ease in traffic flow inside the building, and it also gives the cashiers line of sight on both the east and the west vestibule, because above these stem walls will just be glazing or glass on both sides. They're not solid walls. So that change is coming, and again, we're waiting for a final design on that, and that should happen here in the next week or so.